You've seen them in two matches. How is the squad by comparison to what you kind of thought when you were watching those videos preparing for that first day? Is it kind of as you've expected, better, worse?
As I expect, I think, because what we have to remember is I've been fortunate enough in my previous role to have played against Cardiff and a lot of the players here or the previous clubs, so I know their capabilities. Building that togetherness and the confidence in the group again, is key. So I've been, like I said, the application and determination, desire in the group has been brilliant. So that's coming again. So it's individual players, just getting them, as I said, up to speed is vital, and obviously working out the players that can play how I want to implement my style of play is. Who can do that, I think, is the key one. And as much as anything, the best way to find it is giving players opportunity. So results driven, yes, certainly wanting a result, but also giving players an opportunity to perform, because until you give them that, you don't know. You just don't know. So patience with players. But on a whole, I'd say I've been really, really impressed with the group.
And obviously, as an ex-player, you'll have had plenty of managers coming in during the season. It's kind of a change to your routine. The players have been with Neil Warnock for a relatively long time for a Championship club. Have you been pleased with the way they've responded to presumably changes, little tinkers in training and things like that?
Yeah, hugely impressed with the players in the way they responded to me and David Livermore and James Rowbury. Doing a lot more coaching. So, really pleased with them. You sometimes forget the mental side of it for the players. I've had the managers they've respected hugely and had success with, and you have to change that. And the same with fans as well. They've all respected Neil and enjoyed having him as a manager. So it is a shift in the mindset, but the players have embraced it. The players have embraced it. They've been great. A lot of sitting around in video analysis and looking at various clips, and you sometimes wonder how players are going to take that on board. You don't sit there for hours and hours with them, but it is a coaching session in itself. It's just not on their feet, and that's key when you've got 3 games in a week, is that you find different ways of learning, and they've done that really well. So different ideas definitely from me, but the players have embraced it certainly.
And I guess you've got James Rowbury to provide that bit of continuity as well.
Yeah, we've got James, Cole Sarant, Matt May in the physio room. So there is that, and staff as well. Staff, desperate to learn, and they've been outstanding. Their staff, helpful, informative, hardworking. Is key, and that reflects on how well the group's reacted as well to me.
You said earlier your fixtures haven't been initially that kind. It certainly doesn't change this weekend, because I think people have been waiting about 10 years for a Forest team to look at and go, this could be the one, and you look at this team and this could be the one.
Yeah, they've got some good ability in the side. I think what Forest have added this year is the defensive mindset that they've not had maybe in previous seasons when they've been searching for that elusive team to go up. So they've done well defensively. They've got some good attacking players as well, but they just look like a good team, like a good all-round team. And some of the players I know quite well. Someone like Lewis Grabban, for example, played with at Millwall a long time ago. He's a proven Championship goal scorer that's done well in the Premier League as well. So they've got some real attributes to their team. As ever, we have to make sure we deal with their threats, as we did against Stoke the other night. Make sure we're learning as a group all the time on how we want to play, but then also talk about imposing ourselves on the game. We have to do that as well. We have to find ways of hurting them, and that's where teams have struggled recently, is to try and break them down in the way they play. They can play quite deep and narrow to make it very difficult for you, and then we have to try and find ways to affect their goal.
And it's a club well, having played there. I think you suggested to us in your first presser that maybe if you had your time again, you wouldn't have left Cardiff.
I think I was careful with my words not to be disrespectful to Forest, because I had a wonderful time there as meeting people and playing for a great club. Certainly, I think I was talking purely from a football perspective, that Cardiff would have been a better fit for me. It is a good club. enriched in history over the years. And they're finding a way at the moment to be successful. My main focus now is Cardiff City and my time here, and all I care about is getting points tomorrow. And ultimately another positive performance, whether that's a defensive mindset or attacking mindset, we'll have to see tomorrow. But ultimately, that's all I care about tomorrow, is just getting the points.
How are you looking ahead of tomorrow in terms of fitness?
Yeah, we're getting better all the time. Players are getting closer. They've got to look at a couple this morning, real last-minute ones. If a couple don't make this weekend, it's certainly going to be all right for next week. So it's getting to a stage now where it's tough to even put on 11v11 because the amount of bodies we've got. The amount in training is, in some ways, it's too many. It's too big a squad. But we work with it till January, and then we work from there. We decide from there.
I'll come back to that in a minute. Thank you for teeing that one up. But you welcome back. You do welcome back Danny Ward this weekend from suspension. So that's another option that you'll have as well. You suddenly, attacking wise, you've got three or four to pick from.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, Danny's back available. Obviously, Gary's had 2 starting games already, and looking better all the time. I think everybody would agree. Omar's come on, had an impact in games, certainly at Cheltenham. Robert Glatzel, maybe a little bit of a risk to involve in this weekend, but maybe worth taking. So that's one of my decisions. But also, you've got 4 number 9s. At the moment, I've only played with 1, so there's a decision in itself with 4 number 9s. But Gavin White's a lot closer. Joe Rolls is getting closer. So, all of a sudden, the squad's looking really healthy. But it's a big squad.
I know you've spoken. I've spoken about him earlier in the week, but you just said you've got 4 number 9s. It kind of increases all the time. I know the fans are looking at him as well, but Lee Tomlin has gone from being kind of a peripheral figure here to all of a sudden he's very, very central, isn't he? Because he does something, I guess, different to the other attacking players.
What Tomo gives you is real cleverness. I think it's best with and without the ball. I think fans might sometimes underestimate how important without the ball is as well. And Tomo the other night was outstanding. If you just think yourselves back to defensively when they made 3,000 passes sideways and backwards, how good our shape was without the ball. And Tomo was a big part of that, obviously. So, it's not just about what Lee Tomlin gives you with the ball. With the ball, we know the flair, the excitement, the dribbling ability, something out of nothing, the little clever pass. So there is a huge part for him to play. And what he is, he's effective from the start because he has that moment of magic. If he's working hard alongside that and defensively sound, then what a great option he is. But then coming off the bench, as we saw at Cheltenham, he understands his position in that as well, how effective he is. So he becomes a very important player in the squad.
One final one from me. You've touched on January, and it's too early, I think, at the end of November, start of December, to be talking about players you may look to bring in. But from what you've just said, is it equally as important to look at who will be going out to make sure you've got the right balance in your squad?
Yeah, it is far too early still. I've got a clearer picture, and obviously as a football fan myself and following various teams, you start piecing together. He's played, he's not. Is he going to go? Is he going to stay? It's far too early for all that at the moment. Fans are doing nothing different to what I'm doing. I'm sitting there thinking, right, I've not used him. We're using him. What was? But it's nothing like that at the moment. Everybody's getting an opportunity, and as I said earlier today, is until you give people an opportunity on the pitch, you don't know. You really don't know about them, other than character within the training ground. So it's far too early to make judgment and talk about January. But what I do know is the squad is a big squad, and players, before I want to bring anybody in, the players will have to leave.